It's exciting stuff today. I want to talk about what Trump is saying and why we think we could get a $9.5 trillion injection going into the crypto market. I want to show you something that I'm watching every single day. And I watched this number spike to an all-time high for the year yesterday once the market digested the Federal Reserve decision to lower interest rates on Wednesday. First of all, this is CoinMarketCap. Can everybody see this chart here? Just raise your hand. It's got basically the prices of the top cryptos and the total market caps. It shows that the total market cap of crypto up here in the upper left-hand corner is just over $4 trillion. It's got the fear and greed index about 52. So this market is actually not overbought right now. It's kind of neutral. So we have a long way we can kind of go before it gets overbought. But this is the number I'm looking at. It says 74 out of 100, and it's something called altcoin season. By the way, raise your hand if you've heard of this term before, altcoin season before. Steve, you probably heard about me talk about it in the course. Tadas knows, Mark knows. Okay, great. It's an indicator of whether we expect these smaller coins to outperform Bitcoin or the reverse, where Bitcoin outperforms everything else. Now, if you look at this graph here, you can see for the last 90 days, we saw the altcoin season index go from 74 today. It came all the way up from 15. I can't even believe that. 15 is where it was on June 23rd, just about 3 months ago, right? And it's now come all the way up to it hit 77 yesterday while I was live on one of our investment club calls, which officially makes it altcoin season. Now, has anybody here lived through an altcoin season before? Raise your hand. Have anybody been through that? Okay, Tadas, you're an OG. I can see it by the lines and the scars in your face. I don't see any gray hair there. But altcoin seasons are absolutely nuts, folks. It's a time when you see a lot of the smaller coins that you invested in, they can go up like 10x in a day. All right. That's the kind of things that can happen. Whereas you'd never see Bitcoin doing something like that. You know, if Bitcoin goes up 10% in a day, that's a big, big move, you know? And so altcoin season is the very end of the 4-year cycle where a lot of the smaller coins, everything from Cardano, which is top 10, down to, say, an artificial superintelligence alliance around the 40, all the way down to a Mochaverse, which we have a position in around 150 from the top. They're all going to start going crazy. And this is the very end of the cycle. It's going to end when your Uber driver is asking you about crypto and your grandma is buying crypto. By the way, raise your hand here if your grandma is buying crypto or your Uber driver is buying crypto right now. So we're not there yet. This is a good sign, okay? But I kid you not, you're going to get a text message from someone in high school and they're going to say, hey, Mark, I know you like crypto. And they're not going to ask you about Ethereum or Bitcoin. They're going to ask you about some random stupid meme coin. That's when you know the top is, okay? Because that's when the silly money is getting in to buy, and that's when the last little peak goes, and that's when you want to sell everything. Is everybody with me here? Okay. Now, some people are saying that's going to happen before the end of November. That gives us 60 days, 65 days. Some people say that could last till the end of December. And a very few people are starting to say maybe this goes a couple months into next year. But most people agree that 26 is probably going to be a bearish year and things are going to come down. And so what we're doing right now is we're about to reap a lot of profits on some of the smaller coins that we own. You're going to watch this index go from 74 to 80 to 85, 90. Honestly, when it gets in the 90s, I'm going to be telling my group to start taking profits, to start selling. Does that make sense to everybody here, right? And we're already seeing it happen with some of our coins. One of our big investments is an investment called Story Protocol. The ticker is IP, which actually stands for intellectual property. And so far, we've made a ton of money on this protocol. We're up 32x, and we put $500,000 into this thing. So we've made a $16 million profit for all of our people. 3 of our members put in 50 grand, and they're now sitting on a $1.6 million position. That's a pretty nice position. Anybody want something like that, by the way? Yeah, it's not bad, right? I actually think it's going to go higher. But when that starts becoming $2.5 million, I really hope they start taking profits because you don't see those very often. So today, what I want to do is show you what we're doing behind the scenes and to also show you how you can make these kind of gains. But watch this number. You're going to see it slowly trend up. You're also going to see all sorts of jagged volatility. We're going to see a new Bitcoin high, I believe, probably 150K in the next 60 days. I think it goes as high as maybe 180. I don't know, maybe 190. before the cycle is over. I don't think it's going to get too crazier than that, but who knows? The truth is I don't really care, because owning Bitcoin right now is the stupidest thing you can do. Because what are you going to make? 20%, 30% gains? Is that really why we're in crypto? If you want those gains, go to traditional finance and go hold a stock like Amazon. That's for those kinds of returns. Crypto's for the big boy numbers. I don't want 20%. I want 20x on my money. Is everybody kind of with me here? I assume that's why you're here, right? Again, if you're taking the risk, you deserve the reward. If you're taking the risk and you get a 20% reward, it's not worth it. You might as well be in an equity, which is much safer. So today I want to show you what's going on, as well as the news. I want to talk about that Fed rate cut, and I expect all of these prices to grind higher over the next 60 days. There'll be a couple of pullbacks, but I think it's going to be fairly directional as far as what's going on. So let me jump into this presentation. Last chance to turn cameras on. Martini, you have my permission to throw everybody out without a camera on, with extreme prejudice, right? Or without prejudice. I don't know. Maybe it's extreme prejudice. Just go for it. All right. Thumbs up. Can everybody see these two good-looking guys who love crypto? Yeah, there we go. All right. I'll probably stay away from the White House for a while. I had my little foray into politics here in the UK. I think I'll leave it to the Trump family at this point. And so here's the big news, folks. Trump says Bitcoin and crypto are braced for a $9.5 trillion Fed price earthquake. I'm going to tell you what's going on inside the Fed and how that's going to change things over the next 3, 6, and 9 months. This is the missing ingredient that we were waiting for in this entire cycle, folks. And it's a bit uncanny that we're getting this right at the end of the 4-year cycle. It's just a little weird, because if Powell hadn't cut rates on Wednesday, then we wouldn't have really seen the rate drop right at the end of this cycle. And so, look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I leave that to my guests on London Real, but it's all a little too perfect at this point. But that's fine as long as it's pumping our bags and making us a lot of money. Folks, before we get started, I just want to say this presentation is for information purposes only. It's not intended to be investment advice. If you are looking for that, please go find a professional. I also want to give you this free gift, which is a 19-page PDF file, which is module 1 of our super premium program called the Investment Club. And it's going to show you how startups raise money on the blockchain. And now, since all of your cameras on, except for Ilana, but she's on our Crypto and DeFi Academy. Are we going to be in our past, Martini, Eric, and Elsa? I'm going to send you this module via the powers of Zoom. Can everybody check your Zoom chat right now? Because I'm about to send you this PDF file. If you get the PDF file, if you reply yes, the first person to reply yes, I might give you some of those Story Protocol tokens. I don't know, might, Martini. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll give you some of Martini's allocations. Maybe I won't do that. Okay. Probably not. Let me throw this to you 1 second. Okay, boom. Just reply yes in your chat on Zoom if you can get that. You might have to click my picture. But whoever does that is going to be my best friend today. Uh-oh, Ilana's all over it with a yes. Anybody else? Tadas, did you get that? Steve, did you get that? Connie, Justin? Okay, fantastic. Tadas got it as well. Okay, great. So that's yours. Please read it in your spare time. Please don't do that while I'm presenting, but it's a great document and you really understand what we're doing. If you're watching this on a stream or watching it later, go to londonreal.tv/download, and you can also download that for free. Folks, I also want to give you this video, and this is going to show you how to find the hottest crypto presale tokens in just 3 easy steps. It's going to show you how we're using this thing called SAFT agreements behind the scenes to make all of this money for our members. And I'll give you the link to that video at the end of this presentation. We do it with this method, folks. It's called pre-sale tokens. And it's something that no one's really teaching and no one is giving deal flow, but we are. And it's a practice of secretly buying these tokens from CEOs before the public has access. And then a week later, a month later, 3 months later, they go listed on a public exchange. Millions of people have access, and there's usually a buying frenzy, and they go up. Has anyone here heard of an IPO before? Raise your hand if you heard of that, an initial public offering. Steve and Tadas, I bet Justin knows as well. Well, it's the same kind of thing, but it's for tokens. And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes you see a huge price spike, and I'll show you what those look like. Folks, did you know? Well, first of all, how many people have heard of this token called Solana before? Just raise your hands. Anybody? Yeah, probably, right? It's a pretty popular one. Did you know you could have bought this as a pre-sale token? I bet none of you know that. And if you had, you could have bought Solana for 4 pennies each. 4 pennies. And right now, it's not only trading at 210, it's trading more like 250, which means if you had put $1,000, only 1,000 into this deal, That one investment would be worth $6 million today. Just think about that. Think about that. Now, could anybody here use an extra $6 million bucks? Anybody here? Yeah, not everybody. Tadas is like, no, Brian, more money, more problems, right? Mark is like, keep the change, Brian. You know, I'm doing well here. I'm on top of the world. But look, that's real money, folks. That could probably change your life. It could really help you retire, maybe quit your job, maybe just put your grandkids through college. It's something that's really, really powerful, and it's what we teach. Folks, this is a SAFT agreement. It's a legal document we sign that allows us to participate in these deals. Can everyone see the blue circle here on the screen? That is the amount that we invest in each deal, $200,000. Can everyone see the red circle here? That's the price we paid per token. So Tadash, you can see that. That's 1.25 pennies per token, actually. So we got these cheaper than the Solana tokens. Well, what happened? Well, in about 4 hours, we made about 4 million bucks. And I'll tell you how. The company was called Skillful AI. It's artificial intelligence on the blockchain. It was up 20x at the launch. And here's the CEO named Zoltan, who then came to my studio for his own episode on London Real. This is what you get when we invest in you. You not only get a big fat check, you get your own piece of media that can bring in thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of customers. That's why the CEOs love us. And after the interview, he said, Brian, this thing's going to 100x. You'll soon be worth 20 million on this one deal. And I said, great. And he said, Brian, I also have a favor to ask. I want to join your investment club. I want in on these deals because what you're getting is hotter than anything I've seen. Now, I was shocked because Zoltan's the guy on stage at all these crypto conferences. And I said, surely, Zoltan, you see better deal flow than I do. He said, nope, you have a media company with 1 billion views. He said, you get tokens cheaper than me, faster than me at lower valuations. I want in. And I said, okay, there's only one way to join, though. You gotta have a call with Martini. I don't care if you've been to the studio. I don't care if you got pictures of me. It's not going to help your case. So here's her number. And here's the other thing. She doesn't do discounts. So good luck. And 2 weeks later, he joined. So when you come on our Zoom calls on a Monday or a Thursday night, you're going to see all of our London Real family there, all of our investment club members. We have 150 people that have joined us. And you'll see CEOs like Zoltan as well. And for me, that's one of the greatest testimonials we've ever had, that a guy knee deep in the industry recognized us as having the product that he wanted. And so we're really excited to have those kind of people with you on those calls. Folks, this is Shrapnel. It's actually a video game on the blockchain, kind of like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. This one did a 20x in 20 days and made us 5 million bucks. This is the Mochaverse. It's a digital ID system for the massive gaming conglomerate called Animoca Brands. That company is worth $7 or $8 billion. Here's the chairman named Yatsu, who's a good friend of mine. He's been on the show about 6 or 7 times. We've done about 7 or 8 deals with Animoca at this point. And I think he's the next Elon Musk. I'm a huge fan of Yat. And this deal is just going up and up and up. Here's our big one, folks. It's called Story Protocol. It just had a big pop about 2 weeks ago. And you know what, Martini? It's due for another pop now. I think in the next 7 or 8 days. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing gap up to 12, 13, 14 bucks and finally take us to 50x. That's crazy. And that'll take our $50,000 investing people up to a $2.5 million profit. That's one deal, folks, one deal. And so this is an incredible profile. It's our first deal that we invested alongside Andreessen Horowitz, which was one of the big funds out there. And I think this one's really going to go. They have an expression in Silicon Valley, Martini, and they say, let your winners ride. Has anyone ever heard that expression? Let your winners ride. And so we're just letting this thing go. Now, I would say, Martini, come October, November, December, we might think about taking some profits on this. But right now, I think it's probably okay to let it ride. This is our first meme coin we did called Cats, and it was up 14x on the launch. One of our members had 30 grand in this, so she woke up, her and her mom woke up to a $420,000 profit. Not bad for a Wednesday morning. And it just goes to show you that there are real wins out there in crypto. And of course, this is the $1 billion fund we invested in that's already up 4x for a very low risk fund, equity only investment. This is Dan Tapiero, who I've always considered one of the greatest traders in the world, and I've met them all. Here's Dan on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange on the right for the Circle IPO. And Dan, in the first quarter of next year, will probably now be rated the best performing fund in the world, not in crypto, in the world, because his returns and return of capital are eclipsing the entire industry. In fact, I don't know if you know, but private equity right now is struggling to return money to our investors because the companies aren't going public. Dan is the opposite. He's calling us every other day trying to give us more money. And he's actually going to be live on London Real on October 9th to tell us how much money we've made. We put $1 million into this thing. Martini's in this deal. Martini's in the Story Protocol as well. He's also going to show us how we can invest in his next fund called 50T. 50T stands for $50 trillion. And that's where he believes the digital asset ecosystem will be soon valued at. We get access to this deal. The normal minimum investment for his funds is 10 million bucks. Now, I don't know if anybody's got an extra 10 mil to throw in there. If you do, then you don't need us. But if you don't have that kind of pocket change, then you'll want to join up with us because we can get you in for a very, very low amount. And that's just based on the relationship I've had with Dan for the past 4 years. He is an excellent guy. Folks, now I want to show you some of our latest deals. And what you're going to see on these videos is not only some of the hot deals we're about to close out this week, but you're going to see the format where we get presented deals every Monday, every Thursday. We had a great call last night, actually had 2 pitches, 2 CEOs, really fantastic. And you can come on one of these calls if you want. Next one will be Monday. Just DM Martini right now. She'll get you a link. It's like Shark Tank for crypto. The CEOs come on, they pitch, I ask them hard questions, you get to watch, and then you get to vote, thumbs up or thumbs down. If we get enough thumbs up votes, we literally invest in the company. And so it's a really special way of doing it. The latest deal that we love is called Synergetics. It's actually an AI agent platform that allows various agents to actually talk to each other. The CEO is an MIT Sloan School professor, which is where I went to school, so I got a soft spot for him. And he's built something amazing. He actually has a patent on this technology, and this is Synergetics.
I think it's really incredible.
Great presentation. The guy definitely knew what he was talking about.
This is their multi-billion-dollar unicorn legacy play.
I have a track record of actually delivering on startups. That's just me. This is me in the Agentic AI working group at MIT. We got written up in Forbes and MSN organically. And then we were also highlighted by NVIDIA at the Microsoft conference. And we have partnerships with Google, Plug and Play, Guidewire, and so on. So we are sort of like the creme de la creme of the people on this decentralized AI. We are a company that's powering the agent economy, avatars, chatbots, voice agents, and embedded systems. So the market for this is roughly $70 billion, and we believe that we can take a market share of about $7 billion out of this. We have actually deployed agents in the field. We are currently generating revenues. This year we plan to crack low 7 digits.
Show me some thumbs here, please, everybody on the call. So Camille likes it, Christopher Molson likes it, Petia likes it, Daniel Walker likes it. We got Jacqueline Capsted with 2 thumbs up, 2 up from Paul, 2 up from Henry Shiner.
I think this can be a real success. I do see the differentiators with the many other agentic plays we've seen.
He really knows his stuff, his experience. I think it's really incredible.
I'm actually working for a financial institution, and we're currently implementing a lot of the AI agents that he's talking about.
You don't teach at MIT Sloan unless you're somebody that's up there. And he's had successful exits for large amounts of money.
We're investing in an expert in his field, and he is at the top of his level.
All right, what do we think of that? Pretty cool, right? Everyone's loving this deal, Martini. We like it. It's a great valuation. It's an impressive CEO. He's got tokens being generated next month, and we get in. They're also pitching Google. They're looking for investment from Google as well. And they're actually selling this to Web 2 companies, not just Web 3, which is really important because we've seen a lot of the past where you're relying on Web 3. It doesn't really work. So that's Synergetics. There's actually still allocation in there. So if you do end up joining us, we can actually get you in on that deal, but it should be closed very soon. The next deal is something I want to show you that is actually really close to the Shark Tank for crypto. These guys are called Crypto Knights. They actually have a season right now on Amazon Prime. You can go watch it, and it's got 30 million views so far. And what they do is allow these crypto companies to come on, pitch, and they fund them with millions and millions of dollars. In fact, 4 of our portfolio companies receive millions of bucks already from this program. The beautiful thing is when we invest in this token deal, we get tokens for all the companies that come on the program. So we actually get a whole funnel full of winners when we invest in this deal, and this is Crypto Knights.
It looks like a very good project.
Production value is really high.
We've never seen anything like it.
There's a lot of opportunity here. Kryptonites is not just a TV show, it is a complete ecosystem. Some people call it the Shark Tank for crypto. Projects from across the globe come and pitch to a very elite set of investors. We're an Emmy Award nominated production team. I've been in the entertainment business for about 20 years. We started generating revenue even before we started filming season 1. We generated $4.9 million worth of token revenue. In season 2, we are anticipating $6 million. Plus, our goal is really to make this a global brand, and we want to lead the space with Kryptonites.
VC funding for crypto projects is not as robust as it was last year. Is that a challenge for you right now?
From our point of view, that's not a big challenge. Projects need us more now than ever before because we give them access to that capital. Folks like Blue Whale, I think they raised like over $1 million in that one session. So that's where we make that massive difference.
So if I own some Knight tokens, I'm owning a small piece of every company that's coming on your program in the future.
That's true, every single company. By simply buying the Kryptonites token, you could end up owning 100 different tokens.
2 thumbs up if you like this play. Arno's up, Jose 2 up, Christopher is in, Tracy's in, Federica's in, Oliver's in, Trevor's in, Camille's in, KN's in. Dr. Encore, your thoughts?
They've got the media distribution to actually help these projects do well and get the word out.
It has an excellent format. Seems to be very experienced in the media. He understands the crypto market, the crypto environment.
So this is an unusual project. It really is diversifying our portfolio. They already have a proven track record of being profitable in season 1.
I love the idea that it's not only investing in the production company, but also potential to invest in the other projects. I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, she said it really well there. When we invest in these tokens, we get tokens in all the projects, and they only pick the big wins, and then they get the cash and the media exposure. So it's an extra push. So it's almost like you're getting tokens in the ones that are going to win. One of our companies called Blue Whale AI, one of the most anticipated AI companies on blockchain. They raised $1 million there in one pitch. So we love Kryptonites. Again, about to close out that deal. So you can see what we do. Again, if you want to come to one of our pitch calls, the next one's Monday, 7 p.m. UK time. Just send Martini a message and you can join us. They're a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot as well. Folks, we've been asked recently, how does London Real pick so many winners? Because, you know, it's getting a little uncanny. The first few people thought, yeah, okay, you're getting lucky. But after 10x and 14x and 20x and 22x and now 32x, soon to be 50x, it's starting to look a little bit like, wait, what's going on here? And we thought about it long and hard, and we realized that success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. The truth is, we've been doing this for 4.5 years, through the good times and then not so good times. And we never quit. We never took a week off. We kept investing. We kept listening to pitches, even when Bitcoin hit 15,000, not 115, 15,000. We've been there, right? And that's the reason we have the reputation, we have the funnel, we have the entire network, we have the distribution, we have the deal flow, and that allows us now to really start printing money. And that's the reason this is working so well. And we continue really to get more and more improvement. Honestly, we're just getting warmed up. Folks, a lot of you probably have felt like Drake on top here. You've tried to invest in crypto on your own and you've lost money. Raise your hands if you lost money in crypto before. Come on, be honest with me. Steve, Justin, Taras, keep your hands down if you're lying to me. Okay, so everybody lost money in crypto here. Look, it's a jungle out there. It's hard. And when you first get into crypto, you know, you don't know who to trust. You go to X and you follow some random influencer with a fake name and a fake picture, and they give you some fake coin to buy. And before you know it, you're down 50% and you say, to heck with these guys. I'm out of here. And unfortunately, that's most people's experience in crypto. But there's another way. There's a long-term strategy to create more money than you've ever dreamed of. And that's what we're doing. We're systematically investing in pre-sale token deals. We're not trying to make quick money, right? We're trying to make strong generational wealth. And that's a 10, 20-year horizon. And that's what we're doing here on the inside. And like I said, we're just getting warmed up. And so there's another way to do this. And if that's interests you, we've got you covered. And it's called the Investment Club. It's the greatest product we've ever created in our 14-year history. It's made more money for our members than any other product combined. And it's our solution if you've ever struggled with money in your life. Has anybody here ever struggled with money? Lord knows I have, man. I was broke as a joke till I was 30 years old. American Express had a hitman looking for me. It was so bad. I'm not joking. And it was really hard to figure out, because we're all brought up in the matrix, and your schools don't teach you about money. They teach you to be poor. And so here you out here acting like a goofball, saving your pennies and sticking them in a bank account. What, are you kidding me? And then you wonder why you're broke, and you hope and pray that when you're 70 years old, that your corporation's going to take care of you, that your government's going to take care of you, that your pension fund's going to take care of you. Who are you kidding, right? That's all not going to happen. You're going to have to go out there and create the wealth for you. And here's the news. No one's going to give it to you. You're going to have to go out there and take it. And that's exactly what we teach inside the Investment Club. And so if this resonates with you, then you definitely want to contact us. This is only available for our London Real family. You're only invited to this call if you've spent hours and hours watching our video and you've been coming to our site for years. We only want like-minded people. And that's why Martini vets every single one of them personally, because we really pride ourselves in this community of 150 huge winners. And we just want more of the same people in there. If this resonates with you, book a call with Martini now. Here are 4 different links to do it. And this could really make the difference between everything in your life. It could make the difference between your family and your loved ones living a life of abundance, or continuing to struggle and watch mommy and daddy stressed out of their minds for the rest of their life. There's a better way, folks. And it's not always about being the smartest person out there. It's about the person that goes into the fear and pulls the trigger and takes a chance. That's how I'm still here, by taking risk every single day. And the day I stop taking risk is the day that I have no reward, and the day I let down the people that depend on me. Now, I don't know if all of you here have people that depend on you. You look like people that do. And the older you get, the more people are going to depend on you. My question to you is, are you in a position to provide for them? And are you in a position to protect them? If you're not, I would say it's time to start changing your game. And that's going to mean making different decisions, difficult decisions, and to a certain extent, going in and doing things you're scared of. It's something I'm always trying to do. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. But if this is of interest, book a call with Martini. All we ask is that you only book a call with her if you're really serious about joining today, not next month, not next week. But if you are, have a conversation with her. She's spoken to thousands of people about this, and we can find out if this is the right fit for you. Folks, we also have a 4-week Crypto and DeFi Academy. It's much simpler. It's much cheaper. And we've just discounted this thing by 60%. It's 4 weeks, 4 modules. It's invitation only. And you get 8 hours of live calls with me. You get access to our online e-learning platform with all my video modules and workbooks. You get my triple-tiered accountability system, so you have to show up and do the work. We have dedicated coaches, team leaders, and community managers, and we got a private group for posting assignments. We start off in week 1 and talk about the history of crypto. You're going to read the Bitcoin white paper, learn about how Ethereum was created, stablecoins, DeFi summer of 2020, and more. Then we're going to jump in. We're going to buy some Bitcoin, some Ethereum. We're going to set up your centralized exchanges, get your hot wallet, your cold wallet sorted, and you'll do your first decentralized finance trade. It's no joke. We don't play games. Module 3, we go further into DeFi. You're going to lend money, you're going to earn yield, and you're going to buy an option on crypto. Yes, you heard me right. I started trading options back in '93, so I know 1 or 2 things about them. And module 4, we're going to show you how to really manage that portfolio and start making big money, but it's going to start by managing your emotions. It's something Warren Buffett always said. You're never going to be able to create wealth until you can manage your emotions. And we're going to show you how you can do that. So that's what we do. It's an incredible program. I've graduated thousands of students since I started this in 2021. And like I said, we've just discounted it by 60% to a no-brainer of a $999 decision. You're pre-approved to buy on this call. I'm telling you, go to londonreal.tv/buy, pull out the plastic and join us. It'd be the best decision you ever make. I'm in there personally. You get a WhatsApp message from me and away we go. I also want to give you this, which is my 8-step trading checklist. Probably will save you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Go through each one of these checkpoints before you make a trade. Trust me, you'll save a lot of money. Folks, this is the big news. Bitcoin and crypto are braced for a $9.5 trillion Fed price earthquake. All right. This is all coming on the back of the Fed rate cut decision on Wednesday. And of course, you've got Powell here who is still being called too late by Trump. But he's finally made that call to drop rates by a quarter percentage point or 25 bips. And we think that's going to continue happening for 2 more cuts this year, which should slowly pump more cheap money into the system. What do people do with extra money? They buy things with it, and they buy crypto with it. And that's what we want them to do, because it's going to raise all of the prices. And of course, Elon Musk is now saying that we're toast because he has given up on the fiat currency system entirely. And that's why he was recently seen saying that he believes that people are going to start moving all of this money from basically fiat money into crypto. And of course, we know that there's $7.5 trillion right now in money market funds. And we know that there's another 2 trillion is sitting in these fixed income ETFs. And now that the Fed is in a cutting rate cycle, we believe this money is going to start migrating into crypto. Now, I don't know if you saw recently, folks, but Trump made a change to where 401ks are going to soon have access to crypto, which means all of that saving, all of that retirement money can now buy crypto, which is a massive, massive move for the market. And of course, we know the Trump family just announced a $1.5 billion digital coin deal. They set up a shell company on the New York Stock Exchange called Alt5 Sigma. And that company's sole purpose is to buy World Liberty Financial tokens. What is that? That is the Trump family's own DeFi platform. And they're just going to go out there and buy more of these tokens in what was called one of these treasury plays. So I love it when the whole family is all in on this. Of course, now people are calling for 150K Bitcoin, which I believe will happen by the end of October. And of course, we're now hearing that Ethereum could go to 10,000. Some people are saying 20,000, 30,000, $40,000 Ethereum. Some people like Tom Lee are even saying $60,000 and $70,000 Ethereum. They're calling Bitcoin digital gold and they're calling Ethereum digital oil. Why? Because when you have stable coins, mostly on Ethereum rails, you have to pay a tiny little bit of Ethereum every time you do a transaction. So they call that digital oil because the whole economy needs energy. It needs a little bit of energy that it has to expend in order to pump the economy. And so I think it's a better comparison calling this digital oil as opposed to calling Bitcoin digital gold. And it also means that it potentially has more room to scale. And of course, Standard Chartered Bank has now called for Bitcoin to hit $500,000. That's no joke. That's every single coin. And now, of course, we've heard there's a new wave or a $15 trillion earthquake that's heading straight for Binance Smart Chain, which just hit $1,000 a coin. Crazy. Doge, Solana, Ethereum, and more. And it's all happening. And of course, folks, you know, I ran to be mayor of London. I actually ran on a pro-crypto, pro-freedom of speech platform. A lot of you probably remember that. I wanted all the blockchain to be, all the voting to be on the blockchain. I wanted the budget of London to be on the blockchain. And I actually wanted to create a London coin and put 100 pounds of crypto into the wallet of every man, woman, and child. Of course, they weren't ready for my big ideas, Steve. Crazy, right? Justin, they weren't ready for me, Tadas. So I'm just going to make all of you rich instead. Sound good? All right, everybody's like, yeah, Brian, let's go. Let's go. We're going to show those Londoners. We'll show them, all right? Folks, this is me in our studio in Dubai where I spend 6 months of the year because this is the center for deal flow in crypto. This is where I go to find the deals that are going to make you personally millions of dollars. Here I am with Dr. Marwan El-Zerrouni, runs the Dubai Blockchain Center, runs the AI Center. He's a good friend and an incredible man. Here I am with Uni Wong. She's a massive crypto influencer. One tweet from her can move markets. Here I am with Carl Moon. And here's a great point. Carl was working as a grocery store clerk in Sweden a few years ago, and now he's a crypto billionaire with a B, okay? Right? I've seen the Bugatti, all right? Now, why do I tell you this? Because so many of you who have better jobs than Carl did and more money than Carl did and better educations whine and complain to me that you're too busy and you don't have enough money and you can't do it. If Carl can do it from a grocery store clerk, right? He wasn't even the manager. I've seen the pictures. Then you can do it too, except you're stuck in your own head and you've been convinced maybe by the matrix that you're not worth it. So you're going to sit there and play it safe the rest of your life until one day you keel over and die. Or you can make some difficult decisions today and you can push in and live this incredible life. You heard that expression, right, Steve? That hell on earth is meeting the version of yourself that you could have been at the end of your life, right? I know I'm going a little dark here, but I'm going to do it, folks. Imagine, Steve, at the very last day of your life, you meet the Steve you could have been, right? The one that went ahead and made those fearless decisions, that pulled the damn trigger, that said, let's go. I can do this. I can do anything I want. Who wants to meet that version of themselves at the end of your life? Who wants to be that version of themselves at the end of your life? Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait till the end of my life because I'm going to be that guy. At least that's what I think, right? And I'm going to be like, all right, let's go. So, but that's worth thinking about because you could create a different version of you if you get out of your own head, if you stop your repeated pattern of self-sabotage, if you stop convincing yourself you're destined to be poor, then you could actually break out of that. But that's breaking out of your brain, the matrix, and all of these things. This is Chris, Crypto, another good friend of mine. He was driving a taxi in Germany a few years ago, and now he's a crypto billionaire. And yeah, I've seen it all from him as well. And so don't tell me you can't do this. Save your excuses for someone that cares, because it's all nonsense and BS, in my opinion, because all of you can do this. If taxi driver and grocery store clerk can do it, you can do it, especially in this market. Crypto doesn't care who you are. This isn't like Wall Street, where I grew up, where you have to have a fancy name and be worth $100 million to get your own private banker and access to these deals. No, 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 no. You can get access to these deals as anybody in crypto and DeFi, especially with our platform. And so, save the excuses and start taking action. Folks, right now we're investing over $5 million into 15 different blockchain and AI deals this quarter. Why do I tell you that? I tell you that because we know everything that's going on in crypto. We know what's hot. We know what's not. We know what's getting funded. We know what's going 10x, 20x, 30x, 40x, and 50x. And we know what's going to zero, which is probably the kind of deals you're going to find on your own, the ones that make you lose all of your money. And I know some of you have already experienced that. That's one reason alone to start doing this with a group of people with the massive success. And folks, it all comes down to London Real Ventures. This is the world's first media-powered investment firm, right? This has never been created in the history of humanity. No one's ever done this before. No one's ever taken a media company like ours with a 14-year history, 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers, and combined it with a venture capital company with $25 million in capital. You put these two things together, magic happens. Magic looks like this. This is our portfolio. What you see here is the best of the best, the creme de la creme of Web3 companies. Each one of these has the potential to grow into a $5, $10 billion protocol. Some of them already have, right? And my job, my one singular goal for the next few years is to raise my boys to be great men and to make every single member of my club filthy rich. That's all I plan on doing, and to win a couple boxing matches. That's it. That's all that matters. All right. And so this is my mission. Okay. And when I get my head stuck on something, I'm real stubborn. All right. Real stubborn. And that's what I'm going to do. And we've just hit a major milestone, folks. We've now invested over $22 million into 100 different blockchain and AI deals. We are now bigger than most venture capital funds in this industry. Think about that. We started off on YouTube, and now we're actually doing more than the funds in this space. One of the reasons we win is we invest with the big boys and the big girls, right? The $10, $20 billion funds. And it's no surprise that those deals seem to do better than the other ones. Isn't that crazy, Steve? Funny how that works out, right? Really weird, right? That Story Protocol, backed by Andreessen Horowitz, and the token just keeps going up. Yeah, you don't see me complaining, right? And so we invest alongside names you've heard, like Coinbase Ventures, Galaxy Digital, Andreessen, ARK Invest, even Warner Brothers Music. It's a smart way of making money, folks. And of course, we were recently voted Best Venture Capital KOL of the Year. I received this award in Singapore, and it was recognition that we are now considered a key opinion leader and one of the best when it comes to venture capital investing. Now, a lot of you know I received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Global Family Office Summit in Dubai a couple months ago, and it was great to be recognized for just our investment success. And of course, now we are considered big players in the crypto community because we refuse to back down from a fight. And I'm talking about one in the ring. Now, recently I laced up the gloves and had to take on this young punk he just needed some manners, Martini. Kids these days, they're on TikTok all day. And so I had to lace these gloves up and get him off the internet for a couple rounds. And apparently there's another kid now that wants some more. So Singapore, October 1st, I'm going back in. Get your tickets now. Folks, we think the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it, right? Just make it happen. How many people want to live their lives that way? Anybody? Tadashi with me? Connie's with me? Steve's with me? You know what? I don't believe you put your head in the sand. I don't believe in complaining. I believe in changing the world to suit your whims and desires. And look, we've been at it before. Back in 2020, man, we were getting shut down by every social media platform. We were getting debanked. Every three-letter agency in the world was trying to close our broadcasting down. And what did we do? We fought back against trillion-dollar tech companies, three-letter organizations, and we won. And so this ain't our first rodeo, all right? We've done this before, and we're going to do it again. And so if you want to come alongside with us, make a boatload of money, change the world, make lifelong friends, that's what we're doing. And it all comes down to our mission statement here. This is literally, plastered on the wall here at our London Real World headquarters. We're here to create a mass scale transformation of humanity into a fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. It's this set of values that attracts people like you, that attracts the CEOs of these companies, because we're different, right? We're not like your mainstream media companies and your big tech and your pharmaceutical companies that are trying to take away all of your power and consciousness and make us fight each other. We do things different. But of course, for me, it's not just personal. A lot of it's not just business, it's personal, because I got these two fellows to look out for. They were just giving me a crazy time this morning. This is Caden and Damon. Caden just turned 9 on the right, and that's Damon in the middle at 8. Both have Bitcoin. Caden has a little Ethereum. He's a little ahead of the curve there. And these are the boys I got to look out for, right? I got to take care of them. And what does that mean? That means I better be liquid in the future, right? And having my money in a bank or in a bunch of stocks is probably the stupidest thing I can do. And one thing I know, that 10 years from now, when they come to me and say, Papa, where's our Bitcoin? I'm not going to give them some excuse. When they come to me 10 years from now and say, Papa, how come the robots run by AI are running our lives? You know what? I'm not going to tell them that I didn't do something about it. And so I am here taking risk every day so I can protect the people that matter to me and provide for them in the future. My question to you is, are you doing the same? Or are you going to wait for that universal basic income check? Huh, Tadas? You want to get in the back of the line for one of those checks in the future? How about you, Justin? Right? Good luck with that, right? Justin will get to the front of the line. They'll be like, here's your money. Oh, we saw that post on the social media. That doesn't comply. Get to the back of the line, right? I don't know about you, but I'm not playing that game. And they already started it, right, Justin? Here in the UK, you can't take out more than 3,000 pounds in cash ever again, right? That's crazy, isn't it? It's just insane. They're already doing it. The only way out of this matrix is through ownership of digital assets, folks. And I'm right. I know I'm right, right? And so that's what we teach. And we're here to empower you because they're instruments of freedom. Folks, this is Michael Saylor. He's a good friend of ours. He's been on the show twice, and he believes Bitcoin is the apex property of the human race. He currently owns $75 billion of Bitcoin, and he's now fastly buying another 40 billion. He thinks each coin is going to $13 million each. And he thinks that AI and ETFs are going to power a decade-long gold rush for Bitcoin. Now, my students ask me all the time, Brian, how do I learn about crypto? What websites do I go to keep all this information and knowledge in my head? And I tell them, don't go to websites, don't go to Twitter. That's where all the nonsense is. Go listen to the OGs that are building in this space and have been for decades. Go listen to Michael Saylor. And so I suggest you listen carefully right now, because this is what he told me.
We went from investing 250 million in Bitcoin to 425 million in Bitcoin to eventually $1 billion in Bitcoin to $2 billion in Bitcoin to just slightly less than 4 billion.
You said there are decades when nothing happens and there are weeks when Bitcoin happens.
So every decade there's some profound paradigm shift. It's such an out of the blue idea that no one can conceive of why you would even want it. What you've got is a lot of people questioning all their premises, and rising through that chaos is a new idea. What if I can encrypt energy? What if I can encrypt money such that nobody on earth, no government can debase it, no corporation can steal it? I don't trust anybody. I'm going to create a shared immutable ledger, incorruptible, immortal, transcendental ledger. If I can transfer $1 million of value from me to you without an intermediary, that means I have transcended the political realm.
You said, Brian, I like Bitcoin because it has low aspirations.
The idea of Bitcoin was, how do I create a protocol that's fair and equitable that I give as a gift to the world that no one can control? If you're going to do it and you understand thermodynamics, and if you have any sense of genetics or biology or physics, you realize you need to be very humble in your aspirations. How do we give the gift of property rights, freedom, and sovereignty and empowerment to everybody on the planet? The best idea 30 years ago was YouTube or Google Maps, Twitter or Facebook or email. I think the best idea for the next 30 years is digital energy. Everybody can own their stuff and nobody can take it away from them.
All right, we like Michael Saylor. We're feeling him. Gotta like Michael, right? Michael's powerful. If it wasn't for him, we would not be as far as we are along. And now there's like 150 or 160 different companies that are now buying Bitcoin on their treasuries. Takeaways from Michael is number one in crypto is encrypted energy. It's actually like walking around with a pocket full of energy. That's the way Michael looks at it. No government can debase it. No corporation can steal it. Crypto transcends money. It's actually the strongest, soundest money you've ever experienced in your life, and it's going to change your life when you start using it. Folks, 2025 is the year of crypto, and you're about to miss the whole damn thing. Most of you have missed almost all of it. You're going to blink your eyes. It's going to be New Year's Eve. You're going to be at some party celebrating. I don't know what you're going to be celebrating because you're not going to be heavily invested in crypto, and you're going to miss the greatest wealth creation event of your life. Don't do that. Every day you're not invested in this market is a day you've lost. And the good news is there's still time left, but there's not much. We're talking weeks, not months. And a lot of people are expecting it to peak right at the very end of the year and then come down. This is the time where you make all of the gravy. And so I suggest you get invested now. So where and how do we do it? Well, first you have to find the hottest trend, and I'll share with you our investment thesis in the next few slides. But there's one thing you need, you're never, ever, ever going to find on your own, not in a million years. And that is high quality deal flow. If you go to LinkedIn and try to find a deal, Tadas, Steve, if you go to your WhatsApp group to find a deal, or Justin, you go to your conference and go to the floor, you're going to lose all of your money. I'm not talking about all of your crypto money you've allocated. You'll probably lose everything you've ever made in your life. And I've seen crypto drive people crazy, and they start, they don't want to lose any more money, and they spend all of their money and they're done. And so the only way to make the returns that we make, the 20x, 30x, 40x, 50x, is to get in on the top 1% of the top 1% of deals, right? You really have to have something special. And there's only one way to find those deals: by building relationships. And that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. I've been traveling the world, putting in the time and building these relationships and friendships one at a time. This is how you do it. And here I am on the left, one of my first trips to Dubai with the big influencers, Chris and Carl. You can see I'm meeting with members of government, hanging out with influencers, and of course, VCs. From there, I took a flight to Paris, sat down at a private dinner with some of the biggest venture capitalists and some of the hottest blockchain startups. Of course, I'm always doing media, shooting documentary films, more VCs, more influencers. And then I'm back in London. I had to sit down in our studio with Yatsu of Animoca Brands, then go to the Token 2049 conference, more influencers, more VCs, and then I'm off to Austin, Texas. Here I got to hang out with some celebrities like William Shatner and my good friend Alex Jones, more of influencers, more celebrities. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we had one of our first meetups with our investment club. Can everybody see those people down on the bottom right having a good time? Do you see that, Tadas? Why are they having so much fun? Because they're making so much cash, right? It's easy, right? And so they're here having a good time. We're also making lifelong friends, changing the world and working with cool founders. It's just fun, and it's what we do. From here, I was off to Singapore, where I'll be in about 2 weeks. You can see here, I'm doing media, meeting VCs, and I'm changing the color of my suit like every 5 minutes. What's going on here, Steve? I got the white suit, the orange suit, the red suit. I got the pinstripe suit. Some say my mom didn't give me enough attention as a child. Could be true. Could be true. I got the pink suit coming up soon, Martini. So I'm still on the prowl. The crazy part is that the suits actually bring us deals, because the more attention you can get in this market, the more money you make. And so the truth is that orange suit already made us about $4 or $5 million bucks. Just don't tell my tailor. Now from here, I went to Toronto, and this was at the Consensus Conference. And again, more influencers, more VCs. And we had the second annual meeting of our investment club. Bottom right-hand corner is about 35 people there. And you can see we get a little crazy there behind the scenes. And of course, I always make it back to Dubai, which is my home away from home. And I'm on stage premiering our films, interviewing people, and of course, hanging out with big hitters like CZ there in the middle. Folks, this is the way that I source the deals that are going to make you millions of bucks. So how do you win in this space? You got to invest with the best. What does that mean? Well, this is the number of deals we're going to look at every single week. And we're going to boil that down to 2 or 3 or 4 CEOs that are going to actually come on the call to pitch to you. We only deal in the best of the best. But you've got to also understand the financial tools. And I would say most of you have no idea how these tools work, right? You don't know how they work. You also don't know the investment thesis. And we believe that early stage Web3, metaverse, and artificial intelligence investments represents the hottest opportunity on the planet. Why? Well, Number one, you buy at these super low valuations. Number two, you see the biggest gains possible, and you invest in what I'm calling the biggest dislocation of wealth in human history. And yes, it's high risk, but the reward is even higher. And I'm talking about pre-sale tokens, folks. Nobody's teaching this. Nobody's giving you access to deals like we are. This is our secret for consistently making money. Now, how many people here have heard of Solana again? Mark, you heard of that, right? Kate knows, Justin knows. Yeah, it's a big coin. I hope you've heard of it. But did you know you could have bought this as a pre-sale token? Can you see the red circle there? April 5th, 2018. Can everyone see the blue circle? 4 pennies, not 250 bucks. That's what you got to pay right now. 4 pennies. This is all publicly available information. It's on the blockchain. You go check it out yourself if you want. What happens? Well, you know what happened. If you would put $1,000, Tadas, into that deal, that one trade would be worth $6 million today. $6 million. Okay. Now, some of you guys look like big ballers, and some of you girls too. So for you, that's just another Bugatti in the garage. I know how you feel, Connie. Maybe not a big deal. But for some of you, that's going to really change things, right? And that's one deal. We got a woman in our investment club. How many deals has she done, Martini? 77 deals. Imagine if she made $6 million on each deal, she'd be worth $500 million, right? I can't wait for that to happen. That's going to be amazing. Folks, this is real money being made by people out there, and you're missing it. Now, did anybody buy these for 4 pennies each? Raise your hand. Anybody get in on this pre-sale? Yeah, you got them for 4 pennies? How many did you get, Tadas? You didn't, right? Now, why didn't you get in on this deal? This is a great question. I'm not trying to like rub the salt in. I'm just saying why. If we think about this, we might get to some conclusions. I'll tell you why. Because you didn't know someone like me. You didn't know someone with secret access to deals that could have sent you a text message on the morning of April 5th and say, hey, Justin, how would you like to get $1,000 into this deal, Solana? Hey, Steve, how would you like to get in on this? Hey, Mark. Hey, Tadas, let's go. Now, who would have liked to get a text from me that morning offering him in this deal? Nobody? Tadas is like, no, Brian, too much money, Brian. Too many Bugattis. I don't need it, right? I'm more spiritual now. You can be both, brother. And so look, imagine getting that text message from me. You know, you can delete it if you want, but you can at least get the option. And that's what I'm talking about, folks. And this is not a hypothetical situation because I send a text message out every single day to my investment club. It's in our Telegram group. You can see the latest text messages right there. On the top is a link. You click on that link, you're in our investment platform. Within about 20 seconds, you can invest. And that's my job, to get the best deals possible in front of the faces of our members every single day. And by the way, I give you the opportunity, Steve. I don't invest your money. I think that's an insult. My job is to educate you and show you amazing opportunities and give you the option, right? We're big fans of that. We're about empowering people. And so that's what I try to do. And it reminds me of one of my favorite movies called Wall Street. Go watch it this weekend if you get a chance. And there's a point where the main character, Gordon Gekko, says, the most valuable commodity I know of is information. Now, old Gordon knew that the right piece of info at the right time could make him $1 billion. And that's what I try to do every single day. How many people agree with Gordon? The most valuable commodity is information, right? Mark, you know what I'm talking about. And that's what I deal in. The highest quality information possible brought to you at the perfect time so you can get in on something before anybody else can. For pennies on the dollar. That's what we're doing behind the scenes every single week. Folks, how do you create generational wealth? You have to pull the trigger, and most of you are not doing that right now. Matter of fact, you're probably too scared to do a pre-sale token deal because it sounds too complicated and it makes you stressed out. And so you want to go back and watch some Netflix and put more of your dollars in the bank account, right? All the things you were taught as a kid, right? That are making you more and more broke. Folks, if you want to get to be a winner, you're going to have to try something different than what you've been doing the last 10 years. You're going to have to find more information. The way you really get information is to do something new. It's not to surf the internet or watch another video. That's the last thing you guys need. And it reminds me of a video one of my mentors used to play to me of a couple of lions, right? And he used to play this video to me and some other people to try to illustrate how we're just sitting there watching life go by and we're not making decisions that are obviously going to take us in a better place. And it just doesn't make sense sometimes. And most of us are this lion here. We're sitting there super hungry. The family's hungry. We could really use a bite of one of these guys. And yet we just can't pull the trigger, right? And I've been here before as well. No, not that one. No, I'm tired. Not that one. I'm busy. No, not that one. I can't afford it. Not that one. I just got a divorce. No, not that one. I just got married. Oh, I don't. And someone else comes in and says, I'll take one of those. That's martini on Story Protocol. Yum, yum, yum. 40X, right? 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 Now, what's the difference between those two lines, Steve? This same line. They're both hungry. One of them ran off home, right? And the Cubs are sitting there like, what are we getting? No, I got nothing today. And the other one has enough to feed 10 lions. What's the difference between those two, right? Just one pulled the trigger. That's it. So which one are you? I'll be honest, for a lot of my life, I was the one watching things go by. My mentor used to say, he said, Brian, you don't take enough risks. He said, you're a damn engineer from MIT. You guys, he'd call me an engineer. That's what he'd call me, right? He said, you guys are too risk averse because you sit around, you're programming all your equations all the time. So your cars don't explode and your planes don't fly out of the sky. And you know what, Steve? He was right. He was right. We're a bunch of little scared guys with calculators. If you want to create great things, you go out and take risks. Look at the billionaires we celebrate, Elon Musk. Does Elon Musk take risks? Raise your hand. Yeah, a few. Does Donald Trump take risks? Yeah, a few, right? Name your favorite billionaire or anybody else you celebrate. Your favorite fighter in the world. Do they take risks? Yes. Your favorite musician in the world. Do they take risks? Yes. And yet you're sitting there on the sidelines wondering, I wonder why I can't make it in life. Come on. Because you're not taking risks. So what I do now every year is I engineer risk in my life. And that's why I'm going into the boxing ring with some 19-year-old punk kid in 12 days, right? I don't even know why I'm doing that. But I know that on the other end of that fight is knowledge I'm not going to get by watching another video or sitting watching a screen. And I know I'm going to learn something that's going to take my life to the next level. And that's why I'm doing it, folks. And that's why you need to do one of these deals, because your current program is not working out. And this is what happens when you pull the trigger, right? You get a beautiful portfolio like this. Each one of these deals with the potential to become a $5-10 billion protocol, making every single one of my members absolutely filthy rich. You are one decision away from a completely new reality with your life. And again, one day you will meet the version of yourself that joined the investment club and pulled the trigger. And God forbid that day, because I think you're going to meet someone who's been massively successful in their life because they've decided to take more risk. And it's all because of London Real Ventures. I could not offer you this opportunity if it wasn't for this entity. There's no way, because the CEOs wouldn't give us their deals without our media. And I couldn't give you access to this deal for as little as a $5,000 investment. You would normally need £1 million, 10 billion pound fund just to get into these things. And it all comes down to my quadruple threat. Number one is production. The CEO is flying into my studio next week. He's going to sit down in my leather chair. We're going to do a 2-hour, 6-camera, high def, create a beautiful piece of media. Number two, we're going to distribute it to 5 million potential customers. Number three, I'm going to connect him with the Yatsus and the Dan Tapieros of the world. And number four, I'm going to write him a $200,000 check. I'm telling you, Mark, I'm telling you, Justin, I'm telling you, Taras, there's not a single CEO that can say no to this offer. Not a single one, which means I get access to the hottest deals on the planet. The worst part is I turn most of them down. And like one day I'll publish all of my Telegram chats, but like these guys are begging me behind the scenes. Please, Brian, please, 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 can you invest in our company? I can be in London next week. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm seeing better deals right now. And so we turn down most of the people that pitch on our show, 90%, maybe 95%. We only pick the very best, and that's what you get access to. Folks, there's one last piece here. How do you learn how to invest? And this one, I'm going to maybe get personal and call you out on something that I think is slowing you down and your wealth creation. You got to surround yourself with absolutely the best people in your life. And right now, I would say most of you are not doing that. How many people have heard this expression? You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. How many people agree? Steve, you're with me. Justin, you probably know this is true, right? Yeah, probably. And who are the 5 people in your life that you're hanging out with? My guess is that a lot of you have a toxic family member in there. They're constantly second guessing you. You have an old friend from high school that still acts like they're in high school. You're not surrounded by billionaires. You're not surrounded by innovators. You're not surrounded by people that are trying to take their life to the next level. Am I right? Come on, give me a hand up. Do you have one of those people in your life? Maybe, probably. So how the hell do you expect to get to the next level? You're a big fish in a little pond. You're probably the highest achieving person in your group. Raise your hand if I'm right. Probably, right? So how the hell are you going to get to the next level when everyone's looking up to you? I walk into a room and everyone's telling me how London Real is amazing. I want to run out of that room and throw up. I walk into a room and everyone's like, who are you? London what? Brian who? That's the room I like. Yeah. I want to be around people that are massively more successful than me, right? And I've seen this happen in Dubai. The billionaires, you know who they want to hang out with, Steve? The decabillionaires. The decabillionaires want to hang out with the centabillionaires. You know who the centabillionaires want to hang out with? Elon Musk, right? That's how it goes. And they'll make fun of you. I know people that make fun of the single billionaires, right? They're like, well, seriously? You come in with that? And so I just want you to get around a new peer group of people. And I look back at my life and I realized that it was my peer group that took me really far, really fast. Now here's Brian on the left. He's 16 years old, making $6 an hour in San Diego, California. And I'd probably be there today making $6 an hour if I hadn't have got out, had to get out. Now, I used my grades in high school. I got into MIT. I took a 6-hour flight across the country. I was all alone, didn't know anybody. And I got my butt kicked for 4 years by super smart people, the smartest in the world. 4 years later, I'm surrounded by some of the most amazing people in the world, right? Is that an upgrade in peer group, would people say here? Yeah, it was. But Steve, I'm still broke. That wasn't good enough. For me, I needed to make the money. So I took those grades and I went to Wall Street. I remember it, drove 4 hours in a white van, took all my stuff to Manhattan in 1993. It was crazy, right? Giuliani was mayor. I didn't know that later he would become my friend on London Real, crazy world. And there I was in New York City. And I was on a trading floor, 33rd floor, Bankers Trust Plaza, downtown next to the World Trade Center. I'm on a floor with 300 savages, alpha males and females, each making between $9 and $12 million a year. It was crazy. Like they were nasty. They were physically abusive, mentally abusive, you name it. And if you got in the way of their money, you would pay for it. And I did that a few times. But they also taught me how to make a boatload of cash. And a few years later, I was making millions myself. My point is, folks, it really wasn't what I knew, because I had the degree from MIT. It was who I knew. Who was I surrounding myself with? When I got on that trading floor, I could not conceive a single person would be paid $10 million in a year. I couldn't even believe it, let alone $1 million. Like I was coming from a college kid. And yet once I saw it, it becomes normalized. And that's what I want for all of you. I want you to surround yourself with success, and none of you are doing it right now. Now, Mark, let me ask you a question. I see you here. What if after this call, Mark, you go meet up with your buddies and you say, guess what, guys, I'm going to make 10 million bucks in crypto with Brian Rose of London Real this year. What if you tell your friends that, Justin? Tadas, Steve, what are they going to say? Connie, they're going to laugh a little bit, right? Tadas says they're going to think, oh no, here goes Tadas. He's probably been, smoking that crazy stuff again. Here we go. Talking about Bitcoin. Oh, here we go. When's he just going to learn and get a normal job? God bless him, right? And they're going to laugh at you and look down on you. And those are the people that force you into a reality that is not the one you're dreaming about. And that's the problem, folks, is that you're surrounding yourself with people that subconsciously chip away at your dreams. And you've got to change that. And that's why I created the Investment Club, because I want you to hang out with people like Marianne Bartels. Now, Marianne's one of the founding members of our club. She's a 35-year Wall Street veteran. She's made her clients tens of billions of dollars. Now, Mark and Justin, I'm curious what you think that Marianne would say when you tell her you want to make 10 million bucks in crypto. Tadas, what's she going to tell you? She's going to say, Tadas, baby, 10 million bucks. Why are you playing so small? Let's make 100 million. Let's make $1 billion over 10 years, right? She plays with the big boys and girls down on Wall Street. Now, who wants to hang around with someone like Marianne? Who wants her in your 5-person peer group, right? I'm telling you, these are the people that'll change your life forever. It's priceless having someone like that in your group. Now, most of you have no chance to have a hangout with someone like Marianne. You can go to Wall Street right now. You can camp out at her office, front steps, and beg to buy her a coffee every day for 100 days. She'll walk right by you. Because why the hell would she waste her time with you? You're not going to take her life to the next level. But our group is a way where you can hack into a peer group and be on calls with them and watch them and learn from them every single day. This is Tigran. He's one of America's top 100 criminal defense attorneys. This is your new peer group. Folks, hanging out with guys like this is going to take you to the next level. All right. He was out in Beverly Hills recently, took Martini out with a bunch of our members to dinner, bought them all flowers. When you're out with him, Mark, He's not talking about the score on the ball game. He's not talking about the 6 hours he watched of Netflix on Saturday. He's talking about the next $1 billion idea. That's what he's talking about. This is Andrew Haynes. He's our technical expert. He can get on a call with you and explain any blockchain, any protocol, any Web3 investment, or any Web3 game. Here he is, graduating from one of the top executive training schools in Switzerland. This is your new peer group. This is Dr. Encore. 4 years ago, he was in medicine, took our Crypto and DeFi Academy, graduated, took our Kings of DeFi course, graduated. He was the founding member of the Investment Club, and we hired him a year ago just to source deals for us. He's one of the best in the world. This is your peer group. And guess what? Justin, I got 146 more of these people, all super high performers that you can hang out with for the next 10, 20 years. How many people think that people like this can make them richer? Can I see a show of hands? I'm telling you that this might sound silly, but if you just spend time near them, you're going to get richer. You wouldn't even have to invest in a token. Now, you might think that's funny, but it's true because these guys move different. It's not what they say, it's what they don't say, Steve. It's not what they do, Tadas. It's what they don't do. It's really powerful being around. But I have a bunch of people like super next level in Dubai that I hang out with. Guys with supercars that cost $10 million, right? And the guy's he's got, 10 of them, right? And so you hang out with these guys and you just watch them. You watch about the language they use, how they talk about themselves, how they treat others, how they think. What do they talk about? What they don't talk about? What are their personal practices? Who do they spend time with? Just watch them. Watch them for a week. Start doing things like them and watch your income start to increase. It's really crazy how that happens. Or hang out with your current peer group, right? Who's gossiping about this person and joking about how hungover they are and talking about how they're not doing this or that. Crazy. And this is our family, folks. Here's some selfies I took behind the scenes of all of our members. What you see is just a bunch of people that love hanging out with each other, love making a lot of money, love changing the world forever. Folks, I believe your net worth is your network. How many people agree with that statement? Then why aren't you investing in your network? You clearly don't believe this, because I bet most of you haven't changed those 5 people in your life for 5 years, and yet you expect new results. That is insanity. Pay to get in the right room. Pay to be around a group of amazing people. Folks, I believe you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. We teach people how to fish every Monday, every Thursday. We're going to turn you into an incredible, incredible investor. That's my plan. And that's why we created the Investment Club. Because back in 21, we did our first pre-sale token deal. It was in a gaming company called Cross the Ages, one of the hottest ones out there. And I'll be honest that this deal really, really freaked me out. It scared me because it was my first foray into crypto. I had a Zoom call with some strange dude. And 20 minutes later, he wanted me to send $100,000 in stable coins to a wallet I'd never seen. And I said, bro, I need to do my due diligence. My lawyers need 2 weeks. He said, you got 19 minutes left or you're going to miss this deal. And I thought, oh my gosh, these are a bunch of cowboys. But he was right. I was going to miss it. And thank God we didn't, because we made a lot of money. But I realized right then, this is something else. And here I was, Mr. Hotshot Banker, Mr. MIT guy. And yet I had no idea what was going on here. And I thought 2 things. First of all, this is an amazing way to lose all of your money real fast, right? Number 2, this is an incredible way to make more money than you've ever dreamed of. And I thought, what do? We either run as fast as we can, right? Or we figure out a way to do this right. And we decided to do the latter. We decided we could bring a small group of people, London Real family, and teach them how to do this properly and create more value for London Real than we ever have in 14 years. And so I spoke to Martini and we went all in, and this is the greatest product we've ever created. We've had massive success. Everyone in the industry looks up to us, and we're just getting warmed up. And here are the details. It's an application-only process. We open up only 10 spaces a quarter, and they're always gone. I think Martini has very few left for this quarter, right? We are oversubscribed. I kept this a secret for a while, but now everybody knows what we're doing. It's 6 modules, 3 months of coursework. It's a 12-month program, but guess what? No one's ever left. It's now a lifetime program. Imagine having access to all of that for the next 10, 20, 30 years. We do weekly live Zoom calls with top CEOs, now doing 2, 3, 4 a week. Private Telegram group. You get access to all the deal flow. And if you don't know crypto, you never bought a Bitcoin, no problem. Full year of our Kings of DeFi program for free. We'll bring you up to speed. You'll do your first deal in the first 2 or 3 weeks. That's what we found. No problem. Next live call, Thursday, 7 p.m. and Monday, same time. We teach this remote, people in about 40 countries. Module 1, what is a crypto presale token? I sent you that via PDF. Module 2, what is a SAFT? Who knows what a SAFT agreement is? Hold your hands up. Not many folks here. Justin's shaking his head. Justin, how do you expect to make generational wealth if you don't understand the tools that the rich use? And no one has excuses. None of you have any excuses right now because knowledge is one click away, one ChatGPT conversation away. And yet you don't know what a SAFT is. And that's the thing that can change your life forever. You're stuck in this poverty mentality and you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. What do we call that, Steve? Insanity. And yet most of you after this video call will continue the same process for the next 30 years and wonder why it doesn't work. Probably blame the rich. Yeah, that's what they're doing lately. Blame the billionaires. Let's tax them. No, why don't you be like them? Okay, take some risk. A SAFT is a simple agreement for future tokens. They're the instruments we use to make us wealthy. Module 3, how to identify early winners. I'm going to show you how to conduct pre-sale due diligence on any protocol very, very fast. Module 4, how to generate new deal flow. I'll show you what conference to go to, what ticket to buy, what to wear, and how you can use QR codes scanned on your phone to send deals back to the group in minutes. Module 5, how do we nurture these deals into $5, $6, $7 billion protocols like we did with Story Protocol? And Module 6 is what do you do with all the cash? You're going to have so much money, you're not going to know what the heck to do with it, right? It's going to be like that show Narcos in Mexico. They're burying the money, right? I can see Steve out in the backyard burying all his cash, right? What I suggest is you spend some, you save some, and you put the rest back into these deals. Create generational wealth for your grandkids. This is our Telegram group. This is our Discord group. And here are the details, folks. We are oversubscribed. Martini's busy 24/7, fielding calls from people all over the world that want to join now. We had a lot of interest out of the Middle East and, of course, in the United States. This is huge now in America because everyone knows this is the future. Everybody. The investment in the mentorship, in the deal flow, in the education, in the peer group that's going to change your life over the next 10, 20, 30 years is $50,000. And that gets you the hottest deals in the world. Now, I understand $50,000. It's a significant amount of money. I get it. I used to make $6 an hour. It is. But what if that gave you unlimited financial return? What if it made you $50 million? Probably be the cheapest thing you ever bought in your life. And of course, your chance to take part in the greatest wealth creation event in human history, ending now. And those 2 deals I showed you, special investment opportunities, those will be gone probably in a week. And I recommend you move fast. By the way, this is the deal you missed last quarter. This is a SAFT agreement. Don't let it intimidate you. And this deal was up 466% in one day. Now, why am I showing you another deal that you missed? Well, instead of procrastinating and researching it and giving excuses and telling me why you couldn't join, if you had put 10K on this deal, you would have paid for the club for the rest of your life. My point is that you're one decision away from unlocking the chains, from stepping out of the jail cell and getting your freedom. And yet your brain is going to convince you some way to just, again, watch them go by like the lion, right? It's going to convince you, no, let's just wait. Let's just wait. And you're going to watch another opportunity go by. Or maybe, and I doubt this for most of you, but maybe this will be the one time where you say, you know what, brain, to hell with you. Look where you got us. I want to do something different. One of our members, right, it was Christine Martini. She joined us. I said, Christine, why'd you join us? And she, you know what, Brian? I woke up and I got mad. I looked at the financial system. I looked at everything they had taught me, and they were lying to me. My government was lying to me. My bankers were lying to me. And I just got mad. And I said, to hell with them. I'm going to go with you, and I'm going to create my own wealth. And I'm going to stop whining and complaining, and I'm going to stop blaming other people. And I'm just going to do it myself. And I was like, damn, Christine, more power to you. And that's what she did. And I think sometimes that's what you need. You need to get angry. The only way to make change in your life is if you're sick and tired of where you are now. If you're pissed off enough about it where you're like, I'm going to change it. And sometimes it takes a little bit of anger. And you've seen our track record, folks. 20x in 20 days, a $5 million profit with Shrapnel. Mochaverse up 20x. $4 million in 4 hours with Skillful. $1 billion fund up 4x. Cats up 14x. Story Protocol up a whopping 32x. And here's my pledge to the group. I'm going to create $10 billion for my club in the next 10 years. And right now, it's probably going to happen in 5 years. Folks, we got amazing members. They all have real names, are real people. And pretty much all of them say this is probably one of the greatest decisions they've ever made in their life. Carol says every member is both a learner and an investor. Joe says the window of opportunity is closing quickly, and you know he's right. You're about to miss it. Jerry's just honored to be part of the club. He loves it, loves the vibe. Dr. Yvette is a single mom with 4-year-old twins. I mean, what's your excuse? Here she is, busy single mom. She's done 13, 14 deals. And you're telling me you're too busy? I don't believe it. This is Jens, who asked, how can you afford not to join us? Imagine 6 months from now, you'll look back and think, wow. You kick yourself. You'd be like, how come I didn't join them? This is Petia. She actually couldn't afford the course, and she joined anyways, right? She went out there and forced herself to find the money to pay for the joining fee. And then you know what she did? She started doing deals. She's now done 77 deals, $5,000 minimum, right? Do the math. She is probably poised to be the wealthiest member of our club by the end of the year. It's going to be amazing. This is Chris, who said the deal flow is beyond what I expected. Joining was the best decision I ever made. A lot of you know Chris does deals with his 14-year-old son. His son comes in and says, Dad, I want in on this deal. He slaps $1,000 on the table. Dad puts up the other $4,000. They make the investment and they're in. We have fathers and sons. We have mothers and daughters. We have husbands and wives. We have boyfriends and girlfriends. We believe that financial education is a family affair. And this is what Chris said about the program.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals, a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals. And that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week. And for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
All right, we like Chris. Feeling those vibes. He's an amazing dude. We really like having him. We really appreciate him a lot. The truth is the whole club is filled with vibes like that. If you ever come to one of our calls, you'll see it. They're London Realers through and through. They're really my family. They really are. Folks, it only takes one. One of these deals can change your life forever. Story Protocol is a great example. If you had just done one deal, you'd now have some pretty life-changing money in there. Imagine doing 10 and 20. Imagine. Final thoughts. Don't let this year pass you by. I'm telling you, folks, you're going to blink. It's going to be New Year's. It's going to be over. And, or you can make a decision right now and set something up that you'll thank yourself for at the end of your life. This is really like, it's generational changing is what it is. You can learn early stage investing now, and what I teach you, you can use the rest of your life. Remember that liquid tokens and equity you can buy on an exchange right now have limited gains. If you see a token that's live right now, someone like me has already taken a 50x out of that thing. You're not going to be able to get another 50x. And yet most people in crypto just buy tokens that exist. It's the biggest mistake out there. And of course, we're giving you the chance to learn from active elite investors for only $50,000. I know Dan Tapiero. He's a good friend, right? If you ask Dan for access to his deals and to teach you how to invest for the next 10 years for a measly 50K, he would laugh and throw you out of the office. He would. He wouldn't do it for 500K. So this is actually an incredible opportunity. And yes, it's a significant investment, but it can get you unlimited financial returns. Think about it that way. Now, thanks to Martini, we have a payment plan. So for $10,000 a month, you can get in over 6 months. What does that mean? If you have limited capital, 10K first payment gets you into the deal flow. You can make a couple investments with Synergetics, with Crypto Nights. You're going to have tokens next month. You're going to have liquidity and you're in the game. And the market's going up and up and up. This will not last forever. This will not happen in 6 months, and it was not happening 6 months ago. Now is the time, period. And of course, we have the best deal flow in the world. Folks, remember what Warren Buffett said? The best investment you can make is in yourself. He's talking about your peer group, Steve and Justin, right? And most people say, yeah. But most people don't spend a dime on this. And probably you won't either, right? You spend a lot of money for clothes and golf clubs and cars, right? But you won't spend money to get in the room with a Marianne Bartels or a Tigran that can literally change the course of your life. I'll never understand that. People pay for education and college degrees. Where does that get you? Nowhere. This is really what you want to focus on. And of course, the only way to join is to book a call with Martini. She just put links right now in the chat. Trust me on this. Go to the chat right now, click on one of those links and book a call with Martini. She spoke with thousands of people. She can honestly find out if this is the right fit for you. Okay. And all I ask is that you don't waste your time. Show up with good questions, with intention, and it'll be an amazing conversation that could change your life. And of course, join our crypto and DeFi course. Next one starts, I think, in about 10, 12 days. It's an amazing class, discounted by 60%. 4 weeks, 4 modules, invitation only. You know, it's 8 hours of live calls with me. It's pretty amazing. You got our e-learning platform with I got 12 or 14 videos, workbooks, triple tiered accountability system, dedicated coaches, team leaders, private group for posting assignments. It really is an amazing course. You're pre-approved right now. Go to londonreal.tv/buy, click on the link, pull out the plastic, join. It's a no-brainer. Be the best $9.99 you ever spent. And my last question for you is, what is your why? Why are you here on this planet? It probably has something to do with the people around you, right? I got these goofballs in my life, right? And so now, whenever I'm faced with a critical decision, I just think about these guys, right? Whenever things get hard, whenever things get tough, I just realize, why am I doing this? I'm doing it for them. And I'm doing it because ultimately, one day in the future, I'm going to have to provide for these boys. I'm going to have to create a world that can protect these boys. And the last thing I want to do as a father is fail them on that, right? And I think a lot of you probably know how I feel as a father, a mother, a grandmother, grandfather, aunt, uncle, whatever you are. And the older you get, the more of this you're going to have. Or you can stand up and deliver for these people. There's no better feeling in the world. I guarantee you, no better feeling in the world than taking care of the people that count on you. Folks, here's the video I promised. Go to londonreal.tv/bonus, and you can learn how to find the hottest crypto pre-sale tokens in 3 easy steps. That's our gift to you. And of course, join us on our next pitch call. The next one's Monday, 7 p.m. You can message Martini right now or go to londonreal.tv/club call and join us. It's a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot. That's it, folks. I'd love to answer some questions. Was that helpful? Steve, Justin, Mark, Kate, Connie, Carla, Taras. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Probably butchering it, right? Send me the pronunciation in the crowd. Folks, DM me right now any questions you have, and I'd love to answer any of them. Ask me anything you want. Nothing's off limits. Book a call with Martini. If any of this promoted something, right? She doesn't bite, right? Don't worry. She looks pretty tough. She can be. But that's only to me, right? It shows you if for you, she's going to be nice to you. She can have an honest conversation to figure out a way to make this happen if that's what you want, all right? Book that call with her. Send me a direct message right now. I'll answer any question you want. Martini, I always love to get your thoughts because you know everything about this course and more.
Yeah, definitely. Well, happy day, everybody. It was good to see everybody on the call today. And I do have to rush because I do have a call that's coming up right now. But I do want to say this, Brian, you mentioned something earlier on the call that really struck a chord with me is that, you know, it only takes one, right? One decision to have a completely different life. And sometimes, you know, we're going to be looking at our lives, I think, in a really hot room. My version of hell is sitting in a really hot room, taking a look at all the decisions that I've made and could have made at some point. And so one decision that I actually think about for those of you who I have not had the privilege to speak to just yet, I actually started out as a student of Brian's in 2020. And I was like probably a couple of you who have sat around for a couple of years watching the interviews and seeing some of the ads, getting some of those pesky emails and all of that other good stuff, right? But around 2020, I was in a situation where I was going to hire a mentor of some sort. And for some reason, things didn't necessarily go through. And I booked a call with somebody from Brian's team. And as if by magic, that one call that I had, instead of going with the other mentor, I actually wound up signing up for one of our business accelerator courses or one of Brian's courses at the time. And it really changed the trajectory of my entire life. And a lot of the times I look back on that one phone call that really changed the course of my life. And now being in the investment club, having the crypto and DeFi Academy course, and really, being able to invest in a greater future for myself, for my twin brother and sister, and for generations to come. It all stemmed from one decision and one phone call. So I really want to just anchor in for everybody on the call today. It only takes one decision to have a completely different life. And so the question that I want to ask each and all of you is, what are the decisions that you're making today and that you're choosing today? And what type of life do you really want to have? And start making decisions accordingly. So for those of you who are interested in joining us in the investment club, I've put some links inside of the chat below. And the very first link is for you to check out the investment club page, and that's going to give you a rundown detail of what the investment club is all about, what we stand for, and where we see ourselves going together as a community for the next 10 years. The next step, I would say, when you are ready to pull the trigger and join us now and start investing alongside us now, the next step is for you to go ahead and schedule a call with me. I promise you, for those of you who have had calls with me, they are life-changing in their own way. And it's really because I want to know your intention. I want to know your goals. I want to know your dreams. And most of all, I want to know how we can support you in getting there. So only book a call with me if you are serious. If you don't see a time that's available on my calendar, please be sure to send me a private message on Facebook Messenger. That's always the fastest way to get me. Or you can send me an email at martini@londonreal.tv and let me know who you are, where you're from, and the best time to get a hold of you within your time zone, and we'll definitely make it work. And of course, the last thing here is, I know Brian does an amazing job of explaining what we do here in the investment club, but we want you to experience us in real time. So the last link is for you to join us on one of our live calls that we have for the investment club every Monday and Thursday, and you'll get to see how we are investing in these early stage companies that are here to change the world, and also just seeing how our community comes together as a group. It's a great reminder that we are not alone, that we're not in it alone, and that we do have backup, and we do have a community that's here to support us every step of the way. So once again, guys, let me just anchor in. You are one decision away from a completely different life, and we hope to be standing shoulder to shoulder with you inside of the investment club as you make that choice. So we hope to see you on the inside soon, and back to you, Brian.
All right, give it up for Martini. Amazing, and a great story as well. And yeah, you bring back the old days with those stories. So that's fantastic. Martini's very special. We treasure her. And again, she's spoken with so many people. She's onboarded every single member of this club over the past almost 5 years. She can really give you an insight and answer any question you have or concern. She really is the perfect person. And of course, join us on the next call on Monday, 7 p.m. It's a lot of fun, and you'll learn a ton. I guarantee it. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate your time and your energy. I love this. I'm super passionate. I'm all into crypto. I think they're instruments of freedom. I think they can give you your life back, give you control back, and allow you to take care of the people that are around you, which ultimately I think is what we all want. And so I can't wait to just go there and fight these battles with you and kind of march into the headway and just come back with these great wins. And that's what this is all about. So take some action is what I would say. Don't be the lion like this. Be the one with the big bite. And I look forward to seeing you on the next call. Thank you so much. All right. Lots of love. Bye. The mass scale transformation of humanity, the fully empowered, conscious, and cooperative species. It's something we live and breathe. We have a mission here. We want to help build the decentralized finance infrastructure of the future. What is your mission? Hey, it's Brian Rose from London Real. How would you like to join my investment club, where I teach you everything you need to know about early stage token and equity investments? Look, right now is one of the greatest times to invest in human history. We've got AI happening. We've got the metaverse that we built on AI, and all of this needs the blockchain, which is what we specialize in here. In my investment club, it's a 12-month program, 3 months of coursework where I teach you all the basics. I want to talk about how capital isn't enough, and I want to talk about how you can upgrade your arsenal of influence in a variety of ways. I teach you how to do basic due diligence. I teach you how to go to a conference and come back with 10 deals. Just go in, bam, 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 bam. This is super exciting, and we're able to do this here at London Real because I speak with some of the greatest guests on the planet. We have an amazing network, and we also have a structure to actually invest money in these deals. Just as a strategy in your business, just keep it simple, especially the first time you do it, but do it at the same time. I'm telling you, this is an incredible opportunity. I've got the best community in the business right now, 75 people from around the world in over 20 countries that are alongside, all investing together. And you can learn and network with the best in the business. No decision is much worse than a no. Something, action, action, action. The clock is ticking. If you're interested in this, click a link below and set up a call with one of my team. They'll walk you through what's happening, the opportunities, the requirements. But I plan on working with this group for the next 10 years, and we're going to do massive things here. And I hope you are a part of it. Click on the link and let's do this.